Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk more about mixed numbers and improper fractions. Last week we talked about what those words actually mean. Today we're going to work with them more. So let's start off with an improper fraction. An improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. So let's say my denominator is 4. I'm going to have a numerator of, let's say, 11. 11 fourths. 11 fourths is an improper fraction because it has a larger numerator than it does a denominator. So what that means this is more than a whole because the denominator, the 4, tells us how many pieces make the whole. We know that 4 fourths would equal 1 whole because 4 is the denominator. But I have 11 fourths. So let's think. What would 8 fourths be? If 4 fourths makes 1 whole, then 8 fourths would be 2 wholes. Well, let's keep going for a moment. Let's think. What would 3 wholes be? Well, we're counting by 4s, aren't we? 4 makes 1 whole, 8 makes 2 wholes, 12 fourths would be, 12 fourths I said, 12 fourths would be 3 wholes. I only have 11 fourths. So 11 fourths means I have 2 wholes because that would be 8 fourths. And how much more than 8 do I have? 11 minus 8 means 3. I have 2 and 3 fourths. Let's try another one. I want you to think about this one by yourself now. Let's say I have 10 thirds. Right now, on your own, pause the video and think for yourself what mixed number that would be. So what you should have been thinking is, okay, 3 is my denominator. That means 3 thirds would be 1 whole. And 6 thirds would be 2 wholes. And 9 thirds would be 3 wholes. And I have 10 thirds. 10 thirds is just one more than 9 thirds. So that means I have 3 wholes and 1 third left over. That is my mixed number. Now let's try going in the opposite direction. Let's say I give you the mixed number. Let's say I give you the number of 2 and 1 fourth. And I want you to change that to an improper fraction. Well, again, we're always going to start off looking at the denominator because the denominator tells me how many pieces make the whole. 4 pieces make the whole. So 4 fourths would be 1 whole. But I have 2 wholes. So how many fourths would be 2 wholes? That would be 8 fourths is 2 wholes because a fourth plus 4 fourths plus 4 fourths, 2 wholes. So if 2 wholes is 8 fourths and I have 1 more fourth, that means 2 and 1 fourth is the same thing as 9 fourths. I want you to try one now. I'm going to give you the mixed number of 3 and 2 fifths. I want you to pause the video and try to think about what this improper fraction would be. And again, what you should have done, you should have gone to your denominator and think, okay, 5 fifths would be 1 whole. 10 fifths would be 2 wholes. 15 fifths would make 3 wholes. So if my 3 wholes are 15 fifths, and I have 2 more fifths, That means altogether, I have 17 fifths. That's how we change a mixed number to an improper fraction. Now, some of you might be thinking that you see a pattern, and I hope you do. I hope you do see a pattern. Let's think about that pattern with our next example. Last one for now. Let's say I have 2 and 1/3. 2 and 1/3. Now, what did I say so many times? I said, look at the denominator. The denominator tells me how many pieces make the whole. So if 3 pieces make the whole, and I'm telling you we have 2 wholes, so right away you should be thinking, okay, 3 pieces make 1 whole, but I have 2 wholes. So I'm thinking 3 times 2 equals 6. I'm going to have 6/3 right away. And then I have 1 more third. That gives me 7/3. So we'll talk more about that pattern later on, but just thinking right away of what the relationship between the whole number and the denominator is going to give us. And we'll talk more about that with our next video.